This is a full story. Puppy wishes you all a happy and enjoyable story. Send a message to your crush and accidentally change, I want to nap, to, I want to sleep with you. Rockey, ? 2 minutes later, today, can you wait an hour? I'll come back after my match. 2 hours later, Rockey confronts me downstairs at the dorm. Seeing my disheveled clothes and suspicious marks on my neck, he looks red-eyed and hurt, saying, "Did you cheat on me behind my back? I have a match soon, so I won't be able to reply for about an hour. It's definitely not that I'm ignoring you on purpose. Good luck with the match, senior. When I get back, is there anything you want?" Bleary-eyed from staying up late doing experiments, I barely read the messages and replied to the last one. I want to nap. Not realizing I sent, I want to sleep with you. After sending the message, my eyelids couldn't hold up and I fell asleep immediately, completely missing the sound of incoming message notifications. Meanwhile, Rockey at the exam hall is blushing deeply. He tentatively sends a probing message. What? Did you make a mistake? Seeing no reply, he anxiously sends several more messages. Today, where to? Can you wait an hour? I'll come back after the match. At the last moment before entering the exam hall, he anxiously stares at his phone, fearing he might miss a message. I'm about to enter the exam hall. You must wait for me. Haley, wake up. Serena's loud shout wakes me up. I mumble, eyes still closed, and reach for my phone. Senior sent me a message. Yay! Not rushing to check the content, I reply first, Senior, I just woke up. Haley, hurry up. The cafeteria is offering buy one get one free Wagyu ramen to the first 50 people. What? I instantly wake up and scramble out of bed. The cafeteria's Wagyu ramen is famous for its rich broth and excellent taste, though it's quite expensive. I can't miss this rare opportunity. I quickly splash some water on my face and grab my phone, only to find it had turned off. I toss the phone aside, grab Serena, and run downstairs. Hey, aren't you changing clothes? There are several red marks on your neck. If someone didn't know, they'd think you did something bad. I scratch my neck. It's fine. I'll get some mosquito repellent after we eat. In my haste, I bump into someone, and my nose is filled with a familiar scent. I freeze and look up. Are you okay? The man asks gently. It's Rockey. Senior, what a coincidence. His gaze shifts from my face to the marks on my neck, his pupils narrowing. Did you sleep with someone? I give him a smile. Yeah. And slept really well. Rockey looks at me incredulously, slowly becoming a bit hurt. Haley, did you cheat on me behind my back? Oh no. I seem to have forgotten I had plans with the senior and now I'm going out with Serena. That's definitely considered. Sorry, senior, I'm in a bit of a hurry. I'm flustered and glance at the senior. He looks really upset. Rockey's eyes are red, his mouth twisted in a bitter smile. Haley, how urgent could it be? You can't even wait an hour. I lower my head even more. Serena tugs at my sleeve, and I sneak a look at her. I see Wagyu ramen in her eyes. She seems to be saying, hurry up, or the buy one get one free offer will be gone. I give her a reassuring look and nod firmly. Senior, I really can't this time. It's an urgent matter. Next time, I'll definitely prioritize you. So I'm plan B? In Rockey's incredulous and hurt gaze, I drag Serena and sprint towards the cafeteria. Wagyu ramen, here I come. Haley, you're abandoning your crush for food? Serena looks at me with a mix of helplessness and disbelief. While slurping ramen, I respond, you were pushing me to hurry, saying the ramen would be gone if we were late. Serena nearly chokes. I wanted you to let go of me so I could grab the ramen while you chatted with your crush. What should I do then? Hurry up and eat. Afterward, go apologize to your crush for ditching him for ramen. I sheepishly stick out my tongue. I remember when I first met Rockey. It was a sunny afternoon, and our club organized a rural team building event. That day, Rockey was standing in front of a big pot, his tall, upright figure and refined features emerging from the smoke. A breeze carried the aroma of the iron pot stewed goose, which subtly seeped into my heart. Standing from afar, my heart skipped a beat. The world seemed to quiet down. Rockey in that moment made my heart flutter. I swallowed hard and was irresistibly drawn to him. Serena, listening to me, twitches her mouth slightly. You don't know, that day, Senior gave me one of the 2 goose legs. He's so considerate. After that day, I added him on Facebook, found various excuses to chat with him, sent good morning and good night messages, and hinted that he should always include me in future activities. Serena can't help but poke me with her chopsticks. Haley, do you like the goose or Senior more? I lower my head, smiling shyly. I like the goose, and I also like Senior. Serena shakes her head at the Wagyu ramen in front of her. I'm not so sure. After eating my fill, I happily head back to the dorm with Serena. Turning my phone back on, it dings non-stop with messages. I open them and find they're all from Senior on Facebook. Haley, I'm done with the match. I'm coming to find you right away. Haley, have you thought it through? Haley, I'm at school now. Haley, where are you? Haley, I'm downstairs at your dorm. I scroll through Senior's messages, feeling a bit lost. Senior, does this mean he likes me? Should I still tell him I made a mistake? Scratching my head, I type and delete several times, hesitating before finally sending a message. Senior, what do you mean? Rocky's chat page shows he's typing until 10 minutes later, he sends an unexpected reply. Sorry, it's not me. The original account holder sold the account to me. Senior's account was hacked? Damn it, I got scammed out of $200. My roommate's voice jolted me awake. What happened? With a murderous expression, she said, my boyfriend's account was hacked, and they scammed me out of $200. Yeah, I heard a lot of accounts have been hacked recently. I pondered for a moment and sent my final message to the senior. Since that's the case, let's just unfollow each other. Considering the precious chat history with the senior, I reluctantly unfollowed and blocked him. This hacker is surprisingly considerate. At least he told me he hacked the senior's account. Seeing the red exclamation mark on the screen, Rocky wanted to slap himself. First, he said nothing, then claimed his account was hacked. Now, it's a mess. Great. That night, I tossed and turned, unable to sleep. The senior's account was hacked. How am I going to apologize to him? Maybe my restlessness disturbed Serena next door. She knocked on my bed. I checked my phone. Why are you tossing and turning so late? Thinking about the senior. A cheeky emoji accompanied the message. I couldn't help but blush, and I gave her a playful shove. The senior's account was hacked, and I haven't apologized to him yet. What a coincidence. How did you find out? The hacker told me. What a smart cookie you are. Just wait. Serena typed away furiously and soon replied. The senior has a basketball game tomorrow at 3 p.m. Go cheer for him, bring him water, and apologize. Even the hardest heart will forgive you. That makes sense. I'll ask him about the hacked account tomorrow. Serena, why are you wearing that little white dress to just watch a basketball game? I held up Serena's white spaghetti strap dress, frowning so hard I could squish a fly. You're too young to understand the charm of a little white dress and a high ponytail. Add a sweet brother, and even the coldest heart will melt. I shuddered, looked at Serena, then at my own meager figure, and decided to stick with my short-sleeved shirt. Serena looked at me with a "you just don't get it" expression. Holding the water, I craned my neck in the stands and easily spotted Rocky in the center of the court. He was wearing light gray casual sportswear, standing tall and slim. He smiled at me, and my heart quickened, making my cheer even more enthusiastic. During halftime, I ran over to Rocky with the water, forcing a sweet smile. Brother, water for you, I started to say, but I was interrupted. A girl in a white dress and high ponytail appeared in front of Rocky, calling him brother sweetly, making the crowd cheer. I froze, staring at Rocky. Reject her now. Thank you. Rocky accepted the water and drank most of it, tilting his head back. From my angle, I could see his Adam's apple bobbing up and down, sweat trickling down his neck into his collar. I stared at the bottle of water in Rocky's hand, feeling a pang of discomfort. So, the senior likes little white dresses and high ponytails too. Haley, what are you doing here? Rocky turned, noticing the water in my hand, his eyes brightening. I'm just here to deliver water. I emphasized that he deliver water, handing the bottle to someone else. Rocky's hand froze, his gaze dimming instantly. Is he the one from yesterday? Rocky glared at Tony, his teeth clenched. I looked at Tony, who was saying thank you with a big smile. No wonder he looked familiar. He had been behind us yesterday, eating 4 servings of ramen, which left an impression. Yeah, that's him. A hurt expression flashed across Rocky's face, and he squeezed the water bottle so tightly it creaked. I still couldn't accept it. Senior, do you want to? Before I could finish saying, have dinner, I was cut off again. Haley, you were with this guy yesterday, and now you're with me. Am I just something cheap? Rocky's eyes were red, as if he was holding back something. Brother, you promised to have dinner with me tonight. The girl in the white dress clung to Rocky, pouting. All right. Rocky patted her head. My heart sank. Watching Rocky ignore me, I felt increasingly frustrated. I mean, it's just dinner. Why does it have to come to this? It's not like I have no one else to accompany me. Who cares? I don't care if you accompany me or not. I've got plenty of people to hang out with. I yelled angrily at Rocky and stormed off. On the way, my mind was blank. I regretted not wearing a little white dress, regretted shouting, and forgot all about the hacked account. Woo woo, I still lost in the end. After I left, Rockey shot a glare at Tony and snatched the water from his arms. If you're not thirsty, I'll take this water. Serena, the senior is really mad. He's going to have dinner with the girl in the white dress tonight, and I don't have a chance anymore. Woo woo. I sobbed into Serena's arm. Serena, looking disgusted, patted my back. So what? You're not married yet. You still have a chance. That's true. I perked up immediately. Next time, I'll wear a white dress and white socks and double ponytails. Watch me not enchant him. That's what I said, but I still couldn't sleep. I stared at the senior's number in my blacklist and scrolled through our chat history over and over. Damn hacker, if it weren't for him, I would have apologized to the senior last night. The more I thought about it, the angrier I became. I pulled him out of the blacklist and vented all my frustrations. Hacker, get out here. Aren't you tired of seeing others happy? You have hands and feet, but instead of doing something useful, you choose to hack accounts. If it weren't for you, I wouldn't be unable to contact the senior. Now I don't even have a chance to chat with him. How desperate are you for money? Why did you have to hack the senior's account? The chat window kept showing typing from the other side. I originally planned to curse the hacker thoroughly, but the more I thought about it, the more pointless it seemed, and my tone grew more pleading. Woo woo, please, give the senior's account back. I really want to chat with him. Bro, what do I need to do to get the account back? Seeing no reply, I looked at my remaining balance of just over $300, gritted my teeth, and sent over 200. That's all I have. Please, give the account back to the senior. Super cool hacker, I beg you. Folded hands. After my continuous flattery, the hacker finally responded. You don't need to pay. Is he really that important to you? You're even paying to get his account back? Of course. He's extremely important to me. Alright, I'll return it immediately. I covered my mouth, secretly thrilled. Finally, I could chat with the senior again. Thinking about how the senior was so stern earlier, I added, the senior was stern with me today. As punishment, could you delay returning the account by a few days? The other side was silent for a few minutes. Okay. Meanwhile, Rockey, lying under the covers while typing, had his mouth curled up in a smile. Thinking about how he had been stern with me in the afternoon, he wanted to slap himself. I'm such a fool. But Haley still cares about me. I'm not plan B. Since I removed Senior's Facebook from the blacklist, we haven't talked at all. I don't know if it was the fraudster's broken promise or if Senior has already forgotten me, focusing only on the girl in the white dress. Serena once said that being proactive means losing. A woman should not chase after a man like a hawk. I repeatedly assured Serena, I will definitely not take the initiative unless Senior sends me a message first, even if he withdraws it. Or if Senior speaks to me first, even a casual exchange counts. After all, I can understand his inner monologue. Serena couldn't help but roll her eyes. Look at you, so lacking in confidence. You haven't even started a relationship and you're already spending $200 to help someone get their Facebook back. If they had accepted, you wouldn't be eating this sweet and sour pork ribs today. I blinked with wide eyes. It's not that. I'm just being helpful. Serena smirked. Look, there's a spot across from Senior. Go sit there. When I looked up and met Senior's deep gaze, my face flushed. Isn't it inappropriate? I said awkwardly. You almost called him hubby in the dorm. What's inappropriate? Don't you want to ask about the fraudster? Serena tugged me over to Senior. Senior, is this seat taken? Rockey shook his head, and I smoothly took the seat opposite him. Even though we had just seen each other yesterday, Senior looked strangely vacant. Senior, wasn't your account hacked a while ago? Did you get it back? Huh? When was your account hacked? Haven't you been actively posting in the dorm group these past few days? Senior's friend looked puzzled. Rockey's face turned red, and he glared at his roommate, gritting his teeth. It was hacked. The roommate's face showed realization. No wonder. You've usually been so cold, but recently you've been posting about heartbreak late at night. I thought you were possessed. Rockey's face, along with his ears, turned red from embarrassment as he quickly shoved a chicken leg into his roommate's mouth. Eat the chicken leg, and don't talk too much. I watched the scene in confusion, while Serena just smirked and whispered to me, your senior is quite the scheming man. Huh? Serena received a call from the counselor and had to leave early, reminding me to be more cautious. After dinner, it started pouring rain outside. The rain drummed loudly on the window. I noticed Senior's umbrella next to him and suddenly got an idea. I stood up, put away my plate, and casually grabbed a lucky student. Classmate, do you have an umbrella? No. Then take mine. I handed the umbrella to the student and quietly walked over to Senior. Senior's roommate left early, and Senior was standing at the cafeteria door, looking at the rain outside as if waiting for someone. Seeing me approach, he cleared his throat awkwardly. Haley, I didn't bring an umbrella. Can you give me a ride? Senior, I forgot my umbrella too. Can you give me a ride back to the dorm? We both looked stunned. I glanced at Senior's bag and clearly saw a black umbrella earlier. Senior looked at my empty hands, also puzzled. I thought I saw, well, I turned to find the umbrella I had just given away, but it was too late. In the distance, a yellow Pikachu umbrella was drifting away. Senior and I exchanged glances, both showing expressions of regret. This is a disaster. How about we sit down and chat for a while? Senior, how did you get your account back? Maybe we shouldn't chat after all. As the rain continued to pour and the cafeteria emptied, Rockey took off his coat. Come over, I'll walk you back first. I obediently walked over to him and he held the coat over my head. Come closer, be careful not to get wet. His deep voice, carrying a touch of gentleness, came from above. I cautiously moved closer, my nose catching the faint minty scent from him. Rockey was tall, and holding the coat high covered me almost entirely, making me feel like I was protected under his wings. Ready? I nodded and instinctively held onto his sleeve. Let's go. Rockey took long strides, and I followed closely, feeling the wind rush past my ears and my heartbeat accelerate. The rain grew heavier, and the coat blocked the light. I couldn't see his expression, but I could clearly feel his warmth. Isn't this too fast? He asked quietly. I kept walking, replying softly, we can go a bit faster. I don't know which part of my words triggered him, but he suddenly staggered. I panicked, fearing he would fall, and tightly hugged his waist. Once I realized what I had done, my ears grew warm. Thud, thud, thud. I heard my own heart beating wildly. Rockey tensed slightly, apparently surprised by my action, but then relaxed. I'm okay. Rockey steadied himself, his voice low and carrying a hint of a smile. I breathed a sigh of relief, glad he didn't fall. After releasing Senior, I noticed the heartbeat sound had diminished. It seemed to be Senior's heartbeat. I leaned back against Rockey's chest, listening to the increasingly intense heartbeat and feeling the warmth radiating from him. It really was Senior's heartbeat. Senior, your heartbeat is so fast. I looked up at him. Our eyes met, and the rainwater washed over his eyelashes, creating subtle light reflections on his eyelids. A strange look flashed in Rockey's eyes. His Adam's apple moved slightly, and his voice, hoarse, said, You must have heard wrong. Let's go. Back at the dorm entrance, I waved goodbye to Senior, placing my hand slowly on my chest. My heart was also racing fast. I pulled Serena's hand to my chest. Serena, feel my heart. Is it beating? If it wasn't beating, you'd be dead, Serena teased. Serena, I think I might have fallen for Senior. I placed my hand on my chest, feeling my heart still racing. If it wasn't beating, you'd be dead, Serena repeated. No, it's the thump-thump sound. I get it. Didn't you say you liked the big goose and Senior? Serena said with a raised eyebrow. I shook my head firmly. No, I like the big goose, but I like Senior even more. Serena narrowed her eyes and asked, Did you do something with Rockey? Recalling the recent interactions with Senior, my face flushed. No, nothing happened. Senior just walked me back to the dorm. Be careful, Rockey is a sly fox. He probably orchestrated the hacking himself. Watch out, or you might end up with nothing left. What do you mean? Senior wouldn't deceive me, would he? Serena reached out her hand. Phone. I handed it over. Serena flipped through the chat history, clicking her tongue. Haley, you're such a foodie. You're clueless about everything else. With the way your crush replies and his urgency, if you wanted to sleep with him, he'd practically deliver himself to your door. If he doesn't like you, I'll take my head off and give it to you as a soccer ball. Really? Serena raised her eyebrows. But right now, you need to solve two problems. What problems? First, that girl in the white dress. Mentioning the girl in the white dress, the fighting spirit I had ignited earlier was extinguished. If that girl in the white dress is Senior's girlfriend, they were eating together. Senior even served her water and patted her head. I grew more disheartened as I spoke, wondering if the fraudster's actions were just to make me feel pity. Serena stroked her chin, contemplating. Based on my years of reading novels, there must be a misunderstanding here. Just then, I received a message from Senior. Haley, the club is organizing a camping trip on the weekend. Do you want to join? Yes, yes, yes. I immediately agreed. This was a perfect chance to clarify Senior's relationship with the sweet girl. If he was taken, I would cut ties and not be a slave to my feelings. Having made up my mind, I had completely forgotten to ask Serena what the second issue to resolve was. On the weekend, the weather was sunny. I wore a white dress with pigtails and had practiced how to call Senior Big Brother for several days, almost getting kicked out of the dorm. Everything was ready. This time, Haley, must not lose. Hey, Haley, I turned my head at the touch on my shoulder, only to see a big smile with 2 rows of white teeth. It was the guy who had 4 bowls of ramen. "Hi, nice to see you again," I greeted awkwardly. "Yeah, I finally found out your name. I'm Tony." He looked me up and down and grinned. "You look really nice today." I nodded nonchalantly, occasionally glancing for Rockey. When I saw him walking towards me, I nervously clutched the hem of my dress. Will he like it? When Rockey arrived, he frowned and glanced at Tony, then positioned himself between Tony and me, finally focusing on my dress. "You're planning to wear this dress for camping?" "Yes. Does it look good?" I looked at him expectantly. "Not really," he replied indifferently. "Oh." I responded in disappointment, lowering my head and tugging at my dress, feeling a bit aggrieved. Apparently, not everyone likes a white dress. "Who says?" "I think it looks great." Tony leaned in and smiled at me. Rockey scoffed. "It looks nice, but how are you going to climb mountains in that?" My heart sank. I had been so focused on impressing Senior that I forgot how inconvenient it is to hike in a dress. "What's the big deal?" Tony set down his bag, took off his jacket, and before I could react, he was already at my side, tying the jacket around my waist. I was momentarily stunned and blushed, shrinking back. "This should work. Just walk in front of me, and I'll keep an eye on you," Tony said with a wink, reassuring me. "Thank you. I wouldn't know what to do without you." Rockey's face darkened instantly, his eyes burning with anger. "Don't mention it. Thanks for the water last time, though." Tony glanced unintentionally at Rockey. "Though what?" "Get ready, and let's go." Rockey's cold voice cut off our conversation. "Big brother, over here." Rockey's cold expression was replaced by tenderness. "Coming." It was that girl again. I didn't expect Senior to bring her along for the camping trip. I asked Tony, "Do you know that girl?" "Oh, her. She's Rockey's family." So she's family. I was distracted throughout the trip. Tony walked behind me, occasionally talking, using grass to tickle me. "Why? Are you unhappy?" I shook my head, watching as Rockey carefully held the girl's hand, chatting and laughing as they walked. I felt envious. How nice it would be if Senior were holding my hand. I shook my head. "Haley, remember what you said. Figure it out and don't be a slave to your feelings. Competing for a man with a pretty girl is pointless." I swore to keep my distance from Senior from now on. On the steep part of the trail, some of the guys went up first and then helped the others one by one. Originally, another Senior was leading, but for some reason, it changed to Rockey when it was my turn. He extended his hand to me. I hesitated, thinking about the hand that had held someone else's, and took a couple of steps back. "Haley, come up," Rockey urged. I shook my head and bumped into a chest behind me. It was Tony. I looked at him, then at Rockey, and crossed over with Rockey's hand. "Thank you, Senior. I'll take care of Haley." Saying this, he extended his hand to me. I took it and crossed over, feeling a strange chill on my back, as if someone was watching me. I sighed, bending over and walking slowly. Suddenly, I felt a lightness on my back and turned to see Tony lifting my backpack. "Is your bag too heavy? Let me help." He naturally took off my backpack and leaned in mysteriously. "There's a persimmon grove nearby, and the persimmons are delicious. I'll take you to pick some later." Thinking about persimmons, I perked up immediately. People are like iron, and food is like steel. You can always find another man, but eating well is the most important. I smiled and nodded. Seeing my greedy expression, Tony's lips curled into a sly smile. "Haley, let's go." Tony signaled with his mouth. I was about to follow him to pick persimmons, but Rockey called out to me. "Haley, where are you going? Don't wander off alone. It's dangerous." Tony stepped in front of me. "Senior, it's not just Haley alone. I'm with her." Tony winked at me, and I quickly understood. I grabbed Tony's sleeve. "Senior, we'll be right back." Rockey's gaze lingered on our joined hands, and his expression grew darker. Tony wasn't lying. There really was a vast persimmon grove. Before I could react, he scrambled up a tree. "Hey, Haley, catch." As I looked up, Tony started tossing persimmons down to me. I smiled as I caught each one. By the time I had a full bundle in my arms, I realized that the persimmon grove looked suspiciously like it had been planted by someone. "Tony, these persimmons look like they're from someone's farm. Is it okay for us to pick them?" I shouted. Tony jumped down from the tree and put his finger on my lips. "Shh, we might get caught." "So we're stealing?" Tony grabbed the bundle of persimmons from me and pulled me away. We ran, the wind howling past us and my heart pounding from the thrill. Tony's voice was clear and urgent. "Run." By the time we reached the campsite, both of us were breathless. I took deep breaths, and when I looked at Tony, we both burst into laughter. "How was that? Exciting, huh?" Tony handed me a bottle of water, which I drank quickly. I felt much better. I realized then that Senior wasn't deliberately keeping me from eating. Tony had tied $200 to the tree before we left. Eating the sweet and soft persimmons, I laughed at Tony's jokes. He was sitting on the ground, his hair tousled and sticking to his forehead, with the sun casting a radiant glow on his face. Thinking about Senior seemed like a thing of the past. Having a friend like Tony was pretty great, and the morning's sadness had vanished. Dinner's ready. Senior made a seafood feast. After setting up the tent and being starving, I immediately ran over. Wow, it smells amazing. Senior, you're incredible. I swallowed and my stomach growled loudly as I reached for the seafood. Rocky swatted my chopsticks away. You can't eat this, Rocky said, moving the seafood to the farthest spot in front of the sweet girl. Why not? I asked, feeling a bit aggrieved. You've already had too many persimmons. Eating seafood will. I don't want it. We'll have chicken wings, Tony interrupted, placing a plate of garlic chicken wings in front of me. I looked at the aromatic chicken wings, but couldn't muster much interest. It tasted bland compared to the persimmons. Fine, I'm full. I stood up. I've had enough of persimmons. I'm full. I huffed at Rocky and turned to head to my tent. Inside, I hid under my blanket, texting Serena and crying little pearls. Serena, Senior has a girlfriend. Serena, I'm so sad. Even though the chicken wings are delicious, I can't eat them at all. Serena, is this the end for me? Suddenly, no matter how good the food is, it can't compare to Senior, but I don't have a chance anymore. After venting, I stared at the screen, waiting for Serena's reply. Haley, are you feeling itchy in the head? Want me to scratch it for you? What? I'm very clean. It's not itchy. If it's not itchy, why are you so infatuated? Let it go if it's over. There will be someone better. I have plenty of resources, and I'll find someone even better for you. Don't let me look down on you. Before I could feel too sad, someone called my name from outside. Haley? I peeked out and saw Tony holding chocolates and snacks, presenting them like a treasure. I'm sorry, I forgot that persimmons and seafood don't mix. I brought you some snacks to make up for it. Thank you. I suddenly realized that Senior wasn't intentionally keeping me from eating. It made me feel a lot better. Tony pointed to the sky. Want to go stargazing? The stars here are beautiful. Sure. As we walked outside together, neither of us noticed the tall figure trailing behind us. The higher we went, the more dazzling the stars became. Tony suddenly pointed to the sky. Haley, look, the Big Dipper. I looked in the direction Tony was pointing and saw a few bright stars arranged in a pattern, shining with a soft and gentle light. Wow, this is the closest I've ever seen the Big Dipper. Tony found a clean rock and took off his jacket, letting me sit down. Haley, the reason I asked you out was because I wanted to tell you something. Tony hesitated for a moment, as if gathering his courage, and looked into my eyes seriously. Haley, I like you. I was stunned, staring at him, unable to find words. We had only met a few times. How could he like me already? Tony's face flushed red like a tomato, and he couldn't look me in the eye. His hands clenched into fists, nervous yet hopeful. I know we haven't known each other for long, but I really like you. I hope you'll give me a chance. My mind was a whirlwind. As I tried to figure out how to respond, a voice suddenly called out, "Wait a moment." It was Rocky. He noticed me looking at him and seemed a bit evasive, speaking with a stutter. Oh, what a coincidence to run into you here. Don't misunderstand. I just happened to be passing by and overheard. I definitely didn't mean to interrupt. The more Rocky spoke, the redder his ears became. Senior, you're interrupting my confession. Can you move a bit further away? Tony said, firmly pushing him away. I'm interrupting? I don't think so. Mind if I stay and listen? Rocky glanced at me, testing. Tony frowned. I do mind. Senior, please leave until I'm done. I have business with Haley. Rocky moved closer, trying to separate me and Tony, but the rock was too small for him to squeeze in. Tony gritted his teeth, trying to stop Rocky from causing trouble. Senior, there's a rule about taking turns. Can you leave first and let me finish? Rocky acted as if he understood and reached out to hold my hand. That's right. There's a principle of first come, first served. Tony quickly grabbed my other hand. Rocky, don't think that just because I call you Senior, you can take advantage. Let go. Caught between the two, I couldn't move either way. Rocky refused to back down. The one who should let go is you. Didn't you say first come, first served? I liked Haley first, so what right do you have to confess first? Where were you earlier? Don't act like a peacock showing off. Tony was furious. Rocky sneered. Call me Plan B if you like, but that doesn't mean I'll lose. What's this about being Plan B? The two were on the verge of coming to blows, so I quickly stepped in to stop them. Wait, both of you, be quiet. Senior, I need to talk to Tony. Can you step aside? Must you leave? I nodded. A hint of disappointment flashed in Rocky's eyes, but he obediently turned and slowly walked away, looking back every few steps. Once he was out of sight, I returned to the main topic. Tony, thank you for your affection. I think we can be very good friends. Although we've only met a few times, I know he's a really, really good person. Tony smiled, seeming unsurprised by my answer. I understand, then I'll consider it as starting from friends. If anyone ever upsets you, come find me. I'll always have your back. He raised his voice slightly at the end, glancing at the nearby bushes. Okay, then I'll leave first. Someone probably has something to find you for. After Tony left, Rockey emerged from the bushes, grinning like a cat that got away with a theft. He raised 3 fingers to the sky. I definitely wasn't eavesdropping. I was just worried he might have ulterior motives, so I stayed back to protect you. Senior, were you serious about saying you liked me? Rockey nodded seriously. Of course. I frowned, took a few steps back, and said irritably, Senior, even though I like you, I have to say, you're quite a scumbag. Rockey was stunned by my words. What do you mean? What do you mean? What? Haley, even if I like you, won't be a third party for you. And your girlfriend is so beautiful and cute. How could you treat her like this? I glared at Rockey, fuming. What girlfriend? I don't have a girlfriend. Rockey was sweating profusely. The girl next to you today, she even came to bring you water that day. Rockey grinned and approached, handing me the clothes he had in his arms. I saw you in a skirt, and it was inconvenient, so I asked my sister to get some clothes for you. You were with someone else all day today, so I didn't have a chance to give them to you. I took the clothes and suddenly realized something. Your sister? Rockey's smile almost burst out. Yes, my sister, my real sister. My mind was a mess right now, so Tony's family actually meant sister. How embarrassing. I felt like I could dig a hole and hide in it. Rockey's gaze was so intense it made me a bit uncomfortable. So, Haley, can I take it that you're feeling jealous? Rockey's smile grew even brighter. No, I'm not. I stammered. Rockey grabbed my hand, his eyes almost overflowing with affection. Haley, you just said you like me. I pulled my hand away and changed the subject. Wait a minute, I haven't clarified something. What did you mean by Plan B? At this, Rockey looked somewhat aggrieved. You sent a message saying you wanted to sleep with me. I hurriedly finished my paper in half an hour just to see you. But you ended up finding Tony behind my back and said something about meeting me another time. On the basketball court that day, I thought you were bringing me water, but it turned out to be for Tony. What's this Plan B you're talking about? Rockey added, even if I'm Plan B, I can wait. Hearing Rockey's various explanations, I couldn't help but chuckle. I didn't expect this to turn into such a big misunderstanding. I scratched my head awkwardly. Senior, I only met Tony when we were eating noodles in the cafeteria. The water delivery was because you accepted someone else's water and I just handed it to him. Rockey's eyes brightened immediately. So, I'm actually your first choice, right? My cheeks flushed, and I didn't deny it. So, Senior, was your account not hacked either? I tentatively asked. He didn't speak, but just stared at me silently, his gaze so intense it felt like there was a fire burning in his eyes. I lowered my head, my face turning almost crimson. Yes, I know everything you've done for me. At this moment, I just wanted to live on another planet. Haley, I like you, really like you. Will you be my girlfriend? Rockey looked at me seriously, his obsidian-like eyes deep and mesmerizing. I was so nervous I almost forgot to breathe, my heartbeat overwhelming me. Rockey waited patiently, looking at me with tension and expectation. The moment I nodded, I was pulled into his embrace. The familiar warmth and scent made my heart race. Rockey held me tightly, as if afraid of losing me. He lowered his head and came closer. When our lips met, a buzzing sound filled my head, like a swarm of bees flying around, or like something exploding. My mind went blank, and my eyes widened. At that moment, I suddenly understood that cheesy line, the stars are in the sky, and you are in my heart. Spot check. What are you doing? Serena messaged late at night. Kissing. Sorry to interrupt. Continue. No. What? What kissing? Haley, whose lips are you kissing? Stop talking. Tell me. Did Rockey force you? No. It was voluntary. Okay. Haley, you've grown up. Tomorrow you'd better give me a detailed account, or you'll be expelled from the dormitory. I was worried in the early part of the night, and then Rockey called me. Hearing that I couldn't sleep, he used his deep voice to tell me a fairy tale all night long. His voice was low and pleasant, like a feather brushing over my heart, tickling. That night, I had a spring dream, with Rockey as the object of my dream. He kept calling my name in bed, kissing my forehead, nose, and lips over and over, making me fall deeper and deeper, unable to extricate myself. When I woke up in the morning, I blushed as I recalled the dream from the night before. Rockey's sister has a lovely name, Rachel. When she saw me, she hugged my arm and sweetly called me sister-in-law. I think Serena is right. Not only do men like sweet girls, but I've also fallen in love. Serena seems to have caught the love bug too. She said she seems to have heard her arch nemesis's thoughts, that he wants to push her down. I don't understand. The second question Serena mentioned eventually came up. One day Rockey texted me, "Baby, you said before that you wanted to sleep with me. Do you still want to?" "Yes, very much. Let's resolve this on a weekend. When are you free on the weekend? What time do you want?" "All of it." My heart skipped a beat. All of it? Can he handle it? It turns out he can handle it, but I can't. Extra, Rocky's perspective. During a club activity, I fell for a girl. At noon, while preparing to cook a big pot of stewed goose, everyone else avoided plucking feathers. Only she volunteered to help. It was the cleanest goose I had ever seen plucked. When we started cooking, she didn't idle, but went around gathering firewood. She said, "There's enough firewood now, so Senior can cook with peace of mind." She was really thoughtful. While cooking, many people pretended to help, but were actually just chatting with me. Only she watched from afar, her eyes sparkling as if they could speak. She was very cute. When the goose was served, I had my first selfish moment and gave her the goose leg hidden at the bottom. Her cheeks puffed out like a little hamster. After eating, I wanted to pat her head. I wished she were my girlfriend. I would be willing to cook for her for a lifetime. Later, she took the initiative to add me on Facebook. That's when I found out her name was so beautiful. Her name is Haley. On our wedding night, when I accidentally opened my wife's Facebook, I realized that all these years, she had always saved me as Big Goose Senior. Extra, Tony's perspective. I fell for Haley because of 3 things. I never imagined that a bowl of Wagyu ramen could have so many adjectives. Aromas wafting, tender and soft, lingering taste, each phrase popped out of her mouth, making me eat 4 bowls. I'm usually quite aloof. I generally refuse water that girls offer me coldly. But Haley didn't even ask and just handed me the water. Moreover, the water didn't stay in my hand for a minute before someone took it away. For the first time, I wanted a bottle of water so much and also wanted to know a girl's name. During a torrential rain, stuck in the cafeteria, she once again put the umbrella into my arms in the same way. Although the yellow Pikachu umbrella was ugly, its owner was so cute. This time, I finally learned her name, Haley. Although I was rejected, her happiness is enough for me. The end. If you like Puppy's story, please follow and like it. Updated every morning at 9 a.m.